I, Winsome Earle Sears,
do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear.
Winsome Sears overcame incredible odds to find herself at the seat of power on January 15th, being sworn in as the new Lieutenant Governor of Virginia and the first Black woman elected to statewide office in the Commonwealth.
Born in Jamaica, Sears came to the U.S. as a young girl, following her father with the hope of finding a better life.
In a recent sit-down interview with CBN News, she described joining the Marines after the death of her beloved grandmother, looking for discipline and a reason to live. Another turning point came as a young mom, when she began turning to God.
I just never knew how to stay saved, as they say. You know, I kept falling away and coming back.
That all changed one Sunday morning as she cared for her young daughter at home, sensing she should go to church.
And I heard a voice say, she's going to grow up not knowing me, and she's going to blame you. That was the Lord. And I said, no, she's not. And right then and there, I looked for a church, and that's where I was discipled. And that's what started me on the path to me being the person I know now.
She would go on to lead a prison ministry, run a women's shelter, and get her master's degree in organizational leadership at Regent University. While there, she felt God calling her to run for office. While it was viewed as an impossible campaign against a well-funded longtime incumbent in the Virginia House of Delegates, she won.
I believe any time that you obey the Lord, you always win, no matter the outcome.
Sears has lived that belief. After one term as a state lawmaker, she felt called to run for Congress. After losing that race, Sears stepped away for 14 years until again feeling the call, this time as a write-in candidate for the U.S. Senate. She lost again, but didn't let that stop her.
Life comes at you hard, and there's always something in your life that's going to try and trip you up, and you just have to keep going.
And in 2021, the unlikely candidate, with her message of education first, won a historic victory. As a conservative Black woman, Sears defeated 2 veteran lawmakers for the nomination and won the general election alongside gubernatorial candidate Glenn Youngkin. Their priority now, making school work for the Commonwealth's kids.
By the time the children in Virginia reach the 8th grade, fully 35% of Asian children cannot do math, 45% of white children, 70% of Latino children, 84% of Black children cannot do math by the time they're in the 8th grade. And by the way, 85% of them functionally illiterate.
Sears says the answer is what she calls parental school choice, charter schools, and better pay for teachers. And she supports talking about race and racism in school.
There is a way to teach it such that the white child isn't made to be the oppressor, and the Black child isn't made to feel as if they're victims.
In Sears' view, America's trajectory is on the rise. And along with the ugly, she wants children to learn the good.
We have a saying in church, and it's, I may not be what I'm supposed to be, but I ain't what I used to be. And that's America. She may not be what she's supposed to be, but she ain't what she used to be. She's not 1963, when my father first came, and I'm proof of that.
Sears also plans to focus on the economy, getting rid of Virginia's gas tax and providing a more welcoming environment for businesses to grow. And she's clear on COVID.
I think at some point, COVID is going to hit us all, and so we need to be prepared.
For Sears, that looks like consulting your doctor, getting the vaccine, and keeping an eye on personal liberty. In these times of polarization and divisiveness, she believes leadership can make the difference.
I think as the leader goes, so goes the country.
To that end, she's focused on bringing people together.
And depending on her success and Governor Youngkin's, many believe that 4 years from now, Sears could potentially become not only Virginia's first Black female governor, but the first in the history of the United States. Heather Sells, CBN News.